It's time for another tale from the glass-skirted world, with Ashley as Tara Dane, the human fighter, Brian as Paxton, the human cleric and fighter, Danielle as Athelflad, the halfling rogue and monk, and Josh as Zartok, the tiefling wizard. I am your humble guide, the incredibly talented Aster Fortuna, bard extraordinaire. When we last saw our heroes, they had introduced their friend Jeb to the garden gnomes in his new body. Now they're planning their return to the massive underground wizard research complex. The next level down is supposed to be illusion. But who knows what obstacles will appear before they reach it.
You have dropped Jeb off and helped introduce him to the garden gnomes, and there's still the one area in evocation you didn't finish exploring there where the water weird is. I don't know if you want to persist with that or if you just want to continue going down.
I wonder... I mean, I don't think it's worth trying to solve a puzzle to find what's in there because none of the other rooms really had that much good stuff in it.
I am agreeing.
But I wonder if it's related to that puzzle from the other room or not.
Well, it wasn't filled with like corrosive acid. It was just filled with water, so I don't think so.
That is a very good point.
There's some way to drain it, but I wasn't sure what that way is.
Yeah, and I don't particularly feel like spending a couple days destroying water, so...
It might be in the room itself to drain it because she was like a fishy lady.
What I would like to do, though, is take a rest because I'm still pretty injured, really.
We're really in no rush to keep going down. I mean, we should take our time.
Yeah.
Yes. So can we say that we regained hit points in this whole introduction time?
Let's say that when you were hanging out with Jeb and the garden gnomes, you had time for a long rest. You spend a day or two. You want to spend, I guess probably will take a couple days to show Jeb around. And
should I not bother rolling?
Yeah, if you want to just take a long rest, we can, for a couple days worth of long rest, we can say everybody's back up to full and you'll get all your hit dice back.
Yay.
Another weekend. It's a 3-day weekend for the adventurers again. Can Zartok learn the spells he can learn, the level 1 and 2 spells? And also kind of look through these books.
Yeah. You want to look through those books that you found?
Yeah, and he will never have had that conversation with Jeb about Draconic, so that he's just kind of sitting on a shelf. Maybe that's a language he can learn someday.
Right.
But he can study the other two, the advanced evocation techniques.
I will say that book in Draconic looks truly ancient. Like, it is super, super old. You have to be careful how you handle it.
Okay.
And the book called Advanced Evocation Techniques, if you spend a month reading this book, you'll gain some advantages when you're casting evocation spells.
Okay.
But you have to dedicate yourself to reading it for quite a while.
I don't think the group will let me do that, so I won't.
A month
I won't make
vacation
that
is
request.
a little bit much.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you're adding some spells. Anybody else want to do anything else? Epilema is she has squirreled herself away somewhere. She says she's going to be hanging out at the meeting hall, working on something. And if you need her, then just come get her.
I want to ask the garden gnomes what they know about the healer, because I think I've learned more about the healer since I've last left them, right?
Sure. Well, I guess the best person to talk to would be Dibber and Pilk, their cleric.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want to ask?
Just tell me what you know about the cleric. Just in general,
about
the healer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, she'll tell you that it's not a gnome god, and so they have their own gnome gods that they tend to focus on.
Mm-hmm.
It's more of a human or a local to this planet, local to this world deity. And the healer was once a mortal, like all the gods are.
Once a
mortal, not
okay.
immortal. Once a mortal, and was said to have been a doctor who was very skilled. And eventually, people were so grateful they started praying to that doctor, and it turned the doctor into a god.
Interesting. Okay, cool. Thank you.
Anybody else have anything else they want to do?
I don't know that this is available. I don't know that Zartok would even bring it up because when he asked about trade, it was just righty, and like what stores are available. It would be good if he could find or acquire somehow a focus worth at least 100 gold pieces. Either a jeweled horn for hearing or a glass eye for seeing.
There's no such thing.
Nothing.
The gnomes basically have a subsistence economy in which they trade goods with each other to produce agricultural products, but they don't have magic shops. The closest thing is righty.
Okay. He'd keep an eye out for that, something like that, throughout the adventure.
Okay.
And he'd also try to get some tongs.
Okay. They have tongs.
Okay.
We have tongs.
But he's not going to ask you guys about tongs.
Oh. Well, they have tongs, sure.
He's just going to get some tongs as a side quest.
All right. Yeah, they have a garden supply shop, and the guy there happens to have some metal tongs as well.
Okay.
You can spend, I don't know, let's say 2 silver and buy a pair of tongs.
Okay.
Anybody else? Okay. So you want to head back down?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You grab Epilema. She's working on something in that meeting hall, as I mentioned.
I want to see what Epilema's working on.
All right. She is doing something involving a bunch of piping and plumbing. You're not sure where she got the materials from, but she's building something.
All right. What are you doing over there?
Well, it's I'm working on brewing some stuff.
Ooh, can I help?
I'm gonna brew some. You want to help me?
Yeah.
Oh man, you like beer?
Well, yeah.
Excellent. All right. Well, I'm working on this stuff. Okay. Yeah. Come on in.
Okay.
All right. Well, Epilema is building some kind of brewery. Like she's building something to brew beer. Every once in a while, she goes over to her pack at the side of the room and opens it very secretively and looks inside and then runs back over and starts assembling more of this equipment.
I wonder what my skill and knowledge is of beer, being that I lived in a monastery.
You probably know a bit about it.
Yeah.
They didn't do a lot of brewing, but you probably know a bit.
All right. See if I can help her with that.
This is a good pursuit.
All right, so she spends a couple days working on this, but eventually you are all ready to go back down. Anything else you want to do before you go? No?
I'll just make some important rolls.
Okay, yeah, make your important rolls for the day, the third day after you've been resting.
17 and 6.
Okay. So you're heading down the stairs. You go back down to evocation. You're back where this glass barrier is, and you can see the barriers blocking the passage downward, and you can see there's a group of undead standing there just below the glass, waiting patiently. Some of these look different from the ones you've seen before. There are 2 of them with those glowing red eyes, and then there are some of them that aren't standing as patiently as those zombies normally do. They have grayish skin and long tongues that are hanging out of their mouths, and they're sort of clawing at this glass ceiling and recoiling from it.
How many specifically?
There are enough that you can't actually count for sure how many there are. Within immediate view, there are 2 of these red-eyed zombies, and then at least 6 of these other ones, and then it sort of twists out of the way as the stairwell bends downward.
I'm going to... If I use something like Turn Undead, they can see through.
Mm-hmm.
Would that still affect them, or would I have to bring that pane of glass down?
You're not sure what would penetrate that pane of glass.
Well, we're going to have to fight these guys anyway.
Is it made of god glass?
Yeah, you're not sure of that either.
No?
As you're all standing around discussing, Paxton, you feel a sudden sense of calm and quiet, and a voice speaks out in your head.
Mm-hmm.
And it says,
Hello, is this spell on? Kuya dear, Kuya, I found a memory you might want to see. How many words was that? I can never...
And then the voice stops. But you have a sense you can send a message in return if you do so immediately.
Hey, is this Melidia? Yeah, I can hear you. What's up?
You wait a moment. And then you hear again.
Think it's working again, Degman. Or was it a twist with the left hand? Kuya dear, come on up to enchantment so we can talk. Hello?
I say, yeah, I'll be there in a minute. And then I turn to the rest of the group and I'm like, hey, I think I just got a psychic message from Melidia, that really old elf lady. I know that you guys probably aren't very interested in this, but it's kind of important to me. Do you mind if we go back and check?
Not at all.
Nope.
Let's go with me.
Hey, these guys are probably going to stay right here.
Yeah.
Is there any beer already made from this brewery?
No,
Oh,
not yet. Takes a while.
Oh man.
Yeah, I'm going to have to finish building everything, and then you have to brew it. It takes time, and first batch probably won't be any good.
Good enough.
All right, well, you head up the stairs back to Enchantment, pass through the foyer, and open the creaky doors that lead to the main area, the area that houses the teleportation circle. The many memory-altering beds, and, of course, Melidia and her flesh golem servant. Everything looks pretty much as you left it, except that as you approach Melidia's large bed in the middle of the room, you can see that she is sitting up in the bed, and her eyes look more alert than before, though still a little sleepy. Her white hair has been carefully brushed. In fact, you can see the brush on a silver tray on the bed next to Degman, the flesh golem. And she smiles at you as you come in. I'm so glad that you've come back. How long has it been? Weeks?
Maybe a day or two?
Oh, it's so hard to remember. Oh, dearies, what brings you to my office this time?
You asked me to come here.
Oh, yes, of course, dear. I remember. Kuya, your last visit got me thinking, and I was able to pull up a memory that is, I think, one of yours.
Really?
Degman will show you to one of the beds for humans. Just put on the circlet, lie down, and try to relax while I pull up the memory. We'll wake you when it's over.
Okay. Paxton's kind of nervous to put on one of these circlets, but,
Degman gestures toward a section of beds and says,
all right, let's see what this memory is. Paxton puts the circlet on and lays down.
All right. Now, what are the rest of you doing?
Just standing around, I guess.
Carefully watching to see if anything weird happens.
Epilema walks over to one of the beds in the halfling area and grabs a circlet and says, hey, should I put this thing on too?
I wouldn't know.
Don't touch it.
Ethelflat, I dare you to put one on.
Okay.
I thought I wouldn't do that.
She looks around. General consensus.
Sarah has her thumbs down.
Oh, okay.
All right. Well, Melidia calls over to you, Paxton, from the middle of the room. Now, dear, there are a few things to remember. This is a memory. It's not real. You'll only be able to see and hear the things that you remembered at the time the memory was removed. Memories are not perfect. In fact, they're downright unreliable. This is a particularly vivid one, and I think you have the gist of it correct. Still, it would be wise not to take it too literally. Do you understand?
I think so.
Very well, dear. Are you ready?
I am. Let's do this.
Lie down comfortably, close your eyes, and relax.
I'll try.
A humming noise emanates from the panel next to Melidia's bed, and is then matched by another humming noise coming from the bed on which Paxton is lying. His body seems to go completely slack, unless you want to resist it, Paxton. Okay. Paxton, an image suddenly appears in your mind. You're in the library. It's beautiful with dark red carpets and warm magical torchlight. You walk past a clerk who nods at you, and you walk over to a cabinet. You sort through some index cards, eventually pulling one out. You can't make out the words on it now except for a series of names. Strethok, Melidia, Gribich, Korivar. Administrators. Suddenly...
Can you repeat that list of names?
Yeah. Strethok, Melidia, Gribich, Korivar. And actually, as you're trying to focus on them, the memory gets kind of blurrier. Like you're having a hard time focusing on these words. Suddenly, you are in front of a locked door at an alcove within the library. The sign above the door says, Chancellor's Library. Checking to make sure no one is looking, you pull a key from a bag at your waist and unlock the door. The scene jumps to a bookshelf. You pull out a book, sit down at a table, and begin reading. You can't make out the words, but you can sense a growing emotion that isn't your own. Anger. You look around, but no one is watching you. You pull a scroll out from your bag at your waist and compare it to the book. And then your view becomes blurry and the scene fades. Suddenly you're standing on a hill outside the fortress walls above the complex. It is cool but not cold, and the only visible snow is on the distant mountains to the east and south. The town near the fortress looks new and brightly painted, and it's bustling with activity. People of every kind imaginable, and some you've never imagined, are coming and going on carts and wagons, carrying agricultural products in and out. There's a port along the coast to the south, with several piers protruding into the sea, which is higher than when Paxton last saw it. Beyond the town are tents, huts, and other ramshackle, mostly temporary structures, and you know it is the refugee camp. They're all waiting their turn. They all believe they'll be saved. There's a small dinghy out in the water with a half-orc woman and a young girl sitting in it, waiting patiently for something to bite on the lines that they have dangling in the water. Somehow you know that they have been waiting a long time, and they are excited that it's almost their turn to go into the research complex. You feel a flush of anger take over, though it's strange experiencing it as though it were both someone else and yourself at the same time. Your view rotates toward the front of the fortress, then becomes blurry, and then jumps to the fortress entrance. You pass the gate with 2 guards checking people entering and exiting. They nod at you. They're wearing breastplates with the cross, sword, and wand symbols. The image jumps again. You're passing through the Hall of Scholars. There's no giant throne in it. Instead, the main hall is filled with desks and chairs occupied by clerks interviewing refugees, taking notes on their background skills. You walk past them, and the view jumps to the western room of the Hall of Scholars. You're looking down into the darkness of the stairwell from the very first step. Thoughts rush through your head.
This will probably fail, but I have to do something. I couldn't live with myself if I do nothing.
The scene jumps again, and you are outside the Department of Enchantment. A guard stands at the door. "Sir, I'm afraid they're processing refugees now. I'm under orders not to let anyone in." And you hear your own voice answer.
I understand. There's a change of plans, and I need to inform Melidia.
Sir, I haven't been informed of any changes. Rickert and Beartrain said to keep an eye out for you if you were acting strange. I'm going to... You see your hand reach out, and the Eldritch Knight freezes in place and begins to totter over. You lay him down gently, then open the doors. Now you're by Melidia's bedside, placing a circlet on your head and interacting with the console. There's no sign of Degman the Flesh Golem. The image suddenly becomes more vivid, as though the quality of the memory improved. All around the room, people lying on the bed suddenly sit up, swing their legs over the side, and rip circlets off their heads. They look furious. Melidia sits up in the bed and then looks at you. "Quia, what have you done?" Shouting begins to erupt from around the room. "You lied to us."
I can't remember.
Where are we?"
They tried to take us from ourselves.
You walk over to a group of half-orcs and reach into a bag at your waist. You pull out sword after sword. There must be dozens of them, arming every person who was willing to take a weapon. Melidia is furiously casting a spell, and a shimmering cylindrical wall appears around the bed in the middle of the room. You can barely hear her in your head. "Quia, people are going to get hurt or even die, think!" The refugees have gathered around you looking confused.
The wizards have done this. The worlds they offered you are experiments. These beds do not train you for a new life or grant you powers. They remove your memories so that you will be compliant when you start your new lives, leaving you only with the skills that you need to build new societies. They lied to you because they knew you would not accept the truth.
You stop to survey the room. The refugees still look confused, but also angry.
I could not stop them in time. You have forgotten much, but not everything. The question is, will you let them do this to you? Will you let them do this to others? I cannot stop them by myself.
The half-orcs roar and raise their weapons in the air. Some of the halflings and humans simply lie back down on the beds. A group of elves who seem the least affected by the memory spell immediately organize themselves into a phalanx with a wizard at the back. The next set of memories is really just blurry impressions, charging up the stairs, running into abjuration, taking apprentices hostage, joined by more refugees from outside, charging down the stairs, hellhounds attacking, flame and heat everywhere, but there are wizards and sorcerers on both sides. Screaming and dying, you're nearing the Department of Illusion. Then the undead arrive. The zombies and skeletons are surprisingly gentle, grappling and immobilizing refugees with no concern for their own safety. There are so many and the clerics can't turn them all. Suddenly a man in armor appears in front of you. You hear yourself say,
I won't be part of this anymore. Do what you must, but I will not help you.
Rickert grins and says,
But thou will. We've done this before.
You feel the wind knocked out of you. You're not sure how. Another voice behind you says,
His second failure, his third will be the last.
You feel a blow to your stomach that knocks the wind out of you again, and then your view goes black. And then when the vision ends, you're back in the Department of Enchantment, and Melidia calls over to you. Well, Quia, did you get all that? It might be a lot to take in, but it's quite safe for you to stand up and walk about. None of your memories were altered or removed, so you shouldn't experience any disorientation. Are you all right?
Yeah. Paxton's taking the circlet off of his head and his hands are shaking.
That was your second incident, my dear. I couldn't find your first. I seem to recall your third incident was something about poking around the library in a restricted section again. I think they made you a reporter after that.
You mean an observer?
I don't know what you mean by an observer, but a reporter was a person that they embedded a magical gem in. It had to be a compatible person, or else there could be side effects. They receive special magical conditioning. They're placed into the glass worlds, and they transmit reports to special receivers, which store the reports for replay by the scholars overseeing the experiments. Some of us see it as an honor. Very few people are compatible with the gems, and so long as the gem stays embedded, it grants eternal life.
Where do they get these gems from? What kind of gems are they?
They're produced down in transmutation. They're special magical gems.
Interesting. Huh.
Are you feeling all right, dear?
Yeah, I think some things are starting to fall into place. Thank you for showing me this memory, although I'm not quite sure why you're helping me. The memories don't really portray you in a great light.
Well, dear, they're your memories, and since you're here, I thought, well, perhaps that it would benefit you to see something that had happened.
Paxton walks over to Melidia and he puts a hand on her shoulder and he goes, well, regardless of the past, I do thank you for giving me a bit of myself back.
I must say, dear, I somewhat envy you.
Why?
Well, you're in an unusual position that most people don't experience. You started afresh. You may choose who you want to be without all the baggage of the past. Well, there's still some baggage. We don't erase everything. Still, your life is newer and cleaner than, well, your friends' lives, with more options open to you. You have the freedom to decide what you will make of this opportunity. The question then is this: who will you choose to be? And you can feel her eyes boring into you. She expects you to answer this question, even if you only answer it for yourself.
You make a good point, and whenever I learn about the things that I've done in the past, I don't quite feel connected to them. Especially, it seemed I did some bad things whenever I was in 83 under the name of Frith. But it seems that this Quia person that I used to be, he seemed like he was on the right side of things, at least as far as I can tell. I don't have any shame in my actions that I did, but regardless, as you say, all that's been taken away from me, and I'm Paxton now, for good or for ill, and I'm going to try to continue and help my friends and do whatever I can to undo the damage that's been done to this world, and that's enough for me. It'll have to be.
Melidia suddenly yawns and stretches, and her eyelids look heavy again. She says, "What a busy week this has been. I need a little nap. Please, dearies, come again sometime when I've rested. Degman, do see them to the door." She fluffs her pillow and lies down.
Sleep well, Melidia.
All right, you guys head back out, back to the stairs where there is a group of undead gathered around just below this glass barrier. You are outside evocation, and the pane of glass of pain has blocked further movement down and has also blocked this group of undead that are just standing there staring at you. The two zombies with the red eyes are glaring at you, and then there's a group of these other weird gray-skinned undead with long claw-like fingers and tongues hanging out of their mouths, and they're pawing at the ceiling. That is, they're pawing at this glass pane that you've set up there and kind of recoiling from it after they swing at it.
Do they look undead?
Oh yeah,
okay.
They look very undead.
Well,
what's our space situation? Like, how many people would it take to occupy the stairwell so that they can't come up?
The stairwell's 10 feet wide.
Okay. So we could have two people standing there.
Two people up front.
Stopping them from just bull rushing up the stairs.
Right.
I can go up there and start shooting him with arrows.
Are the long tongue, long clawed things are up front, and then the red-eyed ones in their back?
Correct.
Bummer.
So I can turn undead. I mean, I don't turn undead, but I can turn the undead away from me, right?
Sure.
So I'm thinking maybe we can all just ready some actions. Drop the shield. I channel divinity, turn undead, and see how many of them move away, and then we can focus the attacks on the ones that remain.
That's worth considering. Yeah, but then it would also be nice if you and Epilema was up front, and then the rest of us takes care of the red-eyed ones using ranged attacks, because as we found out, whenever we kill other ones, they absorb the tissues and such and become stronger. So, and the last time you turn undead, it doesn't get rid of them all.
Right.
It seems random. Just
Yeah,
depending on how the healer feels or whatever.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? So you could use your bow, Tara. How's that sound, Epilema? You up for that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
I'll be back here
Okay.
shooting with arrows.
So would you turn undead before we take the glass pane down, or would we just see how it goes?
And that's the thing, is I don't know if turn undead will work through the glass pane. I'm not sure.
Yeah, can you just, do it all day, or is this like...
I can only do it once.
Oh, okay. Then let's not risk it. Let's take
That's what I'm thinking.
glass pane now.
All right, so we're going to do this. We're going to roll initiative, but you guys are going to I'm going to assume you're going to prepare actions, right? So I'm going to let you guys basically take a round to use your prepared actions once you lower the barrier, okay? Mm-hmm. So let's go ahead and roll initiatives, though.
So you think I should use my bow, but it gets stronger, but if we kill the red-eyed guys first, because we remember this time, it'd probably be better killing it with my sword, because I'm way better with it.
Well, if you've got a way to get past the first line of the whatever those creatures is, you could. Yeah, you see what I'm saying? I'm trying to think tactfully, strategically. What's a word?
Tactically.
Yeah, tactically is a word.
Okay.
So you stand back with me, and Athelflaed, you got something you got a crossbow or a bow or something?
Yeah, I
right.
was imagining shooting them with a crossbow.
Tara, what'd you get for initiative?
11.
Zartok.
19.
Athelflaed.
Total 23.
Wow. And there is no water weird. I should delete that.
That would suck.
That would be funny if it just showed up. Hey, guys.
What up?
What are you doing?
Carlos, what happened?
7 for the red-eyed zombies. And for the other weird creatures, that is 10. Paxton, what'd you get?
7.
Your dexterity is better than theirs. I'm going to bump you up to 8. Paxton, you're going to lower the barrier?
I think since I need to turn undead,
yeah.
I think I'm going to dig out that finger.
Yeah.
And toss it to...
Epilema's up front with you. You want her to do it?
Yeah, toss it to Epilema and say, Epilema, drop the gates.
She says, I'm not hungry, man. Thanks. That's just a joke. I know what to do.
Good one. Did you read that in a joke book?
No. So she's going to lower the barrier, and then I'm just going to go through everyone in order except for her. Okay? Mm-hmm. So we'll start with Athelflaed. When Epilema lowers the barrier, what are you going to do?
Shoot one of the red-eyed ones.
Okay. The barrier lowers. The undead start to surge forward, but Athelflaed, you get to go first. Athelflaed, take a shot.
24.
24 is definitely a hit.
And I'm within...
Oh, this is definitely a sneak attack, for sure.
20 total.
Wow.
With sneak attack.
Okay, that's the first action is an arrow or a crossbow bolt goes sailing through the air, embeds solidly right in the gut of one of these zombies at the front, staggers a little bit. Epilema has spent her action lowering the barrier and then getting prepared to fight. Zartok, what do you want to do?
Is it possible to fireball just the 2 in the back?
Just the 2 in the back? You don't want to hit any of the others?
Well, I don't want to kill the others. That's the thought process. If I kill the others, then they suck all the stuff up.
You could, I think, yes. I think you can see far enough down. What's the radius of fireball?
I think it's 20 feet. The other thing I will do is I will wait for Paxton's action to see if how well this thing works.
Oh, you want to go after Paxton?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, so you're going to prepare an action to shoot a fireball after he casts, after he uses turn undead.
I will, if this makes sense, I'm going to I'm just kind of, even though I'm so ready to cast fireball, I'm going to hold off on it, because if he turns away a lot of them, then I'll just go ahead and just torch the place. But if most of them stay, then I don't want to fuel the 2 red-eyed ones.
Sure. All right, so Paxton, go ahead and, actually I need to go to Tara. Tara, you also going to ready to go after Paxton goes?
Yes.
Okay. So Paxton, you get to go. What do you want to do? You're going to use turn undead?
Yeah.
All right. So they have to make
DC 14.
DC 14 wisdom saves. All right.
Be gone, unclean creatures of the night. No, cut that. That was awful.
No, it's in. It's staying. Zartok leaves.
All right. So the first red-eyed zombie saves. The next one fails. So one of them is turned. And it starts turning around and trying to force its way back through the other undead. Now the other weird gray-skinned, long-tongued creatures. Saved. The first one. Second one failed. Third one saved. Fourth one saved. Fifth one saved.
Jerks.
Sixth one saved. Seventh one saved. So you turned 2 of them. You notice that they don't seem very affected by this turning. In fact, mechanically, these undead have advantage on saving throws against effects that turn undead. You didn't know that until you used turn undead.
Learning.
But you did turn 2 of them.
I've turned undead on a group of Strethok zombies before, right?
Yeah, that's right. And the regular zombies were just ordinarily, they were affected by it in ordinary ways. But these seem, whatever type they are, they seem resistant. That's Paxton's turn. 2 of them have turned and are fleeing down the stairwell. Tara and Zartok, you were holding your action. Zartok, what do you want to do?
I'm gonna, seeing that this plan sort of partially worked, but there's still 1 red-eyed left, Zartok will haste Tara instead of using Fireball.
Okay.
So she gets 1 extra action that she can use to attack.
Okay. So you haste Tara. Tara will be able to take... now, Tara is using a ranged weapon, which means that... And she's using a crossbow, right? Or using a short bow? Short bow. Okay, great. I was going to say you can't take more than 1 shot per round with a crossbow, but with a short bow you can.
We're munchkining this whole thing now.
We're
sure. Learning.
Yes, good. Tara, you want to take your 2 shots? Actually, I guess 3 shots, right?
4.
4. That's right. 2 full attack actions. So you take 4 shots. What are you shooting at?
I will be shooting at the red-eyed one.
All right, the one that's already injured?
Yes.
All right.
Or the one who didn't flee.
Right. That's the one that's injured.
Okay, I got a unnatural 20 to hit on both of the first 2.
Wow. Okay, 2 hits.
And I did a total of 14 damage.
All right. And your next 2 attacks?
All right, this one unnatural 20, and then the other one is 12.
Those are both hits.
Okay. And then I got 2 and a 4, so 6 damage.
Okay. You don't add any dexterity bonuses to that or anything?
I did. There was a 1.
Wow. It is still up, but it is in bad shape. You have filled it with arrows, and it's sort of stumbling around under the impact of all these arrows. That's Tara's turn. I think that means we've done everyone, right? So now we're into a regular round of not prepared actions, but just regular initiative. Athelflad, what do you want to do?
I'll shoot it again with the crossbow.
All right.
The red eye.
Did Epilema ever go?
Epilema used that turn to turn off the pane of glass. That was her action.
10.
10 is a hit on that zombie.
Oh, all right.
Yes.
13.
13. All right, so Athelflad, you shoot this zombie, this weird zombie. Let's see if it manages to get back up. It falls to the ground, and then it gets back up.
My goodness.
What a jerk.
Yeah. And that's Athelflad's turn. You shot it through the head, but it just gets right back up again. Epilema. Epilema is going to attack. She says, I hate it when these things won't stay down. I hate them. She's raging. That vein on her forehead bulges. And she attacks the first one. She attacks I guess, what does she want to attack? Yeah, she'll attack that one that got knocked down and hit it again. It's all right, she hits it again. Let's see if it stays down. Oh, it's down. So this time it stays down. That red-eyed zombie collapses to the ground, and it turns into a pile of meat, but it doesn't get back up and turn into a meat monster. In fact, you see it just sort of quivering there on the ground. These little tentacle-like bits of meat are reaching out in different directions around it, but they're not doing anything else. And that is Athelflaed and Epilema. Zartok, what do you want to do?
Can I grease the stairwell so that it's not under anybody else but just the zombies?
At the front?
Yeah, just so that they kind of crawl up the stairs. He's hoping they go upstairs, trip, fall down, then Paxton and Epilema can hack them apart, and then the next two come up. Okay.
Yeah, you can grease the stairs. It's a 10-foot by 10-foot square?
Yeah, it's a 10-foot by 10-foot square.
All right, so anyone that's in the square at the start of the round has to make a dexterity saving throw, is that right? When you first cast it?
It should be right now. When the grease appears, each creature standing in this area must succeed a dexterity saving throw. So
okay,
it's DC 14. And then at the end of their turn, if they're still in the grease, they make that save.
Okay, so there are 3 of them because you've destroyed one, and the other one is turned to flee, but it's not its turn yet. There are 3 of them that you can affect in this way.
Okay, sounds good.
What's the DC?
14.
They all fail.
Whee!
All 3 of them fall down.
Zombie slip and slide.
This fleeing red-eyed zombie falls down on the greasy floor, and 2 of these gray ones also fall down on the ground as well. And that is Zartok's turn. Tara, what do you want? Yeah, it's your turn. Tara, what do you want to do?
The other red-eyed one, he's not in view because he ran down the stairs?
No, he actually hasn't taken his action yet. He's turned to flee, but it hasn't been his turn yet. So he hasn't done anything. He has actually fallen down on the ground because of this greasy coating on the steps that Zartok just created. He's trying to sort of crawl and flee, but it's not his turn yet.
Okay, so I'm still hasted?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You want to take your 4 shots?
Yes.
If so, who are you shooting at?
I'm going to shoot at the red-eyed zombie on the ground.
The one that's trying to flee?
Yes.
Okay.
Does that give me advantage?
Actually, it gives you disadvantage against a prone target.
Wait, what?
Yeah, if you're doing a melee attack against a prone target, you have advantage. Ranged attacks against a prone target have disadvantage because they're low profile.
Well, I'm not going to run in there and stab him because then I'm in grease.
You can shoot at some of those gray-skinned, long-tongued creatures in the back that are still standing.
Nope.
Okay.
Gotta shoot for the guy who otherwise turns into an even harder to beat monster if he has dead bodies around him.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think it's a good idea, even though he's hard to hit.
All right, you have disadvantage.
Natural 1.
Okay, fumble table. Forgot to pull that up.
How could you forget? Of course we were going to do that.
Mm-hmm. All right, roll percentile.
39.
All right, so Tara, you take a shot with your crossbow, and
Short bow.
the short bow's tension when it releases, it shakes the bow in a way you weren't expecting, and it sort of slaps you in the head, and you are stunned for a moment. So you are actually stunned for the rest of this round. Stunned means, let's look that up, under conditions.
So my haste is ruined.
Yeah, I'm afraid it's not going to accomplish anything.
I listened to the helpful voice of my circlet.
Yeah. It says it's okay, even leaders make mistakes sometimes, but the important thing is to learn from them.
Yes.
Stunned. A stunned creature is incapacitated, can't move, and can speak only falteringly. You automatically fail strength and dexterity saving throws. Attacks against you have advantage. Incapacitated, which you are also incapacitated.
I'm learning from this.
Yeah, incapacitated means you can't take actions or reactions. So basically, for the rest of this round, you can't do anything. And people who try to hit you in melee or with ranged weapons would have advantage. All right, that's the end of this round. And the next thing that happens, one of these weird gray-skinned creatures that is turned, it actually turns around and tries to push its way back down the stairs. It's this thing's turn. Actually, no, it has to stand up first because it's greased. So it stands up, and then it turns around and moves.
It would have half its movement left. Yeah.
Right, so 15 feet down the stairs, forcing its way past its fellows. So it moves down the stairs, and then the rest of them surge forward, past the red-eyed zombie. The rest of them surge forward and make attacks with their claws. So the people at the front are Epilema and Paxton, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's only room for 2 of them to stand side by side. All right, so one of them's going to attack Epilema, one of them's going to attack Paxton. Epilema, I think she's hit. Yeah, Epilema is hit, and she has to make a saving throw. She fails. Epilema suddenly freezes in place and doesn't seem to be able to move. Paxton, the creature's claws glance off of your shield and they're not able to get through, but you can see that Epilema next to you is in trouble. She seems to be paralyzed.
That's not good. My meat shield stopped working. Turn it back on.
That is their turn, the only ones that can reach you. Paxton, it is your turn. What do you want to do?
Paxton is going to grab Epilema and drag her backwards while casting spiritual weapon.
Okay, spiritual weapon. Your spiritual weapon can attack.
Mm-hmm.
That's your bonus action.
And
Now, is that a concentration effect?
it is. It does not appear to be.
Okay. It doesn't say concentration next to the
Nope.
spell? Okay, great.
Okay, so my spell attack modifier is 6.
What are you attacking? One of the, I guess, yeah, the creatures in the very front are these gray-skinned, long-fingered, long-tongued, paralyzing monsters. You're attacking one of those?
Yeah,
Right.
whichever one is closest.
Right.
And I'm guessing a 10 doesn't hit.
No, it does not.
Yeah.
All right.
At
And you're
least
gonna
Epilema's out of the way.
All right, so you threw Epilema backward. That's your action?
Mhm.
Okay. You can do that. She's not big, and she's not fighting back because she's paralyzed. The turned red-eyed zombie gets to go, and it stands up and flees down the stairs. All right, so that's its action for the round. And, I should mention the weird gray-skinned undead. They all ended their round in this greasy floor, right?
Yep.
So they need to make saving throws.
They should fail it.
There are
That's
4.
my recommendation.
That's what you think should happen?
Yeah.
All right. DC 14.
Yes.
One of the ones in the front failed, and another one saved, and then the 2 behind them are also affected, and they both saved. So one of them at the very front is now prone. And actually, okay, so we need to back up. Paxton, one of these creatures in front of you is prone because of the grease. So when you attack with your spiritual weapon, you actually have advantage on that attack.
Okay. Doesn't help.
Okay. All right. So that is their turn. That weird pile of meat on the ground, pile of flesh that was one of these red-eyed zombies, is just laying there quivering. It's not doing anything else. And Athelflaed, it is your turn.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and try to shoot at it.
Okay,
Finish it
take a
off.
shot. Same one you fired at before?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. That one turned to a meat on the ground.
The
You're
other one.
firing at. So here are your options. You've got. There's one of these weird long-tongued monsters that paralyzed Epilema lying on the ground, greased, and then there's another one at the front that is not greased. The one that is not greased would be an easier target.
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that one.
Okay, it's sneak attack.
Total 7 for the hit.
That is a miss.
Okay.
What did you roll?
3.
And you only have +4 on your crossbow.
Plus 7.
So 3 + 7 is
10.
10. Okay, 10. All right. So yeah, it's still a miss, I'm
Yep.
afraid. Okay. And that is Athelflaed's turn. Epilema gets to repeat her saving throw. Oh, and she shakes herself out of it. She says, "Whoa, what was that? Let me at him." And that was the end of her turn, though, so she can't do anything else. Zartok, what do you want to do?
So we've got at least 3 of these things, or how many of the gray skin?
So now that you can see, now that there's some room has been made by one of the zombies being destroyed and another one fleeing and one of these gray-skinned creatures fleeing, you can see that there are still 6 of these gray-skinned creatures
That's a lot.
trying to charge up the hallway toward you.
Okay. So he would do one of 2 things depending on how everything's laid out. If he can step up in there, since Epilema kind of got moved out of the way, and not stand where she was, but one sort of 5-foot area back, and cast Burning Hands while missing Paxton and getting at least 2 of the things. That's what you would do. If you can't do that, then you shoot a crossbow at one of the ones that are standing up.
I think there's a lot of people probably, since you're probably at the back, I'm guessing there's a lot of people in front of you. I'm not sure you can step up with burning hands, unless you want to move into the very front rank.
No.
Okay.
I don't.
Okay.
He'll just shoot at one of the ones that are standing.
Okay.
And this is 12 total hit.
Does not.
Okay.
It glances off of what must be some kind of thick hide.
He's a bit stronger than zombies.
Yep, they're harder to hit.
Okay.
They don't seem to care very much about most of what you're doing so far.
Okay.
And that's Zartok's turn. Tara, you recover. What do you want to do?
So in the front kind of field of the zombies is
one that's
the
greased?
one that's prone and the one that's was standing.
That's right.
Okay. Tara's done with the bow. Like, forget that thing. She's drawing her sword.
And she's stepping up to the front.
And she's stepping up to attack the prone grayskin zombie that was attacked up.
Good idea.
All right. You're taking the place that Epilema was occupying.
Yes, pretty much.
Make your attacks.
All right.
You're attacking the prone one, you said?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, you have advantage.
Okay. That was a 26.
That's definitely a hit.
Sorry. Get my correct dice.
Yeah, so you're going to have to roll 80-20 to get all your attacks in here because you have 4 attacks with advantage.
Yeah, it's hardcore. It's 9 damage.
9 damage.
That one.
All right, you definitely hit it. You whack it real good. Chop into it as it flails around the ground.
Okay, 17.
That's a hit.
5 damage.
All right, again, chopping into this thing as it flails around trying to stand up.
19 with 9 damage.
Yep, got it again.
And then a 25.
Yes, that's still a hit.
With 11 damage.
Oh my gosh. All right, so you
Moving
tear
fast
into
as
this
lightning
thing. You
here.
did a total of 34 points of damage, if I counted that correctly.
Nice.
This undead is just being cut to pieces. It's still moving, but there's not a lot of it left. And that is Tara's turn. That one is almost down.
Tara feels satisfied.
On its turn, it stands up with what's left of its mangled body. It tries to claw at Tara. It misses you horribly. You just block its pitiful claws with your shield.
I listen to the happy voice of my circlet.
Yeah, leaders take charge from the front. That's great. Unless they need to lead from the back, that's also leadership. And the other one at the front will try to attack Paxton, and it misses. 21 misses, right?
Yeah.
Yep, it misses. And that's their turn. The other ones are sort of jostling around in the back, trying to break through, but they can't get through their friends in the front. And the undead also in their round in the grease, so I need to roll for them again. And one falls down. They trade places. The one that was prone is now standing up.
You know what to do, Tara.
And the one that was standing up is now prone. So Paxton, you can attack the other one with advantage with your spiritual weapon if you want. Or you could just say, I don't want to use a spiritual weapon this round. That's a dumb idea anyway.
Of course I want to use the
Oh, okay.
spiritual
All right.
weapon.
Yeah, all right. Go ahead.
How close to me is Tara at this point?
She's right next to you.
Right next to me. Okay, so I probably should not Thunderwave.
Oh, no, you could Thunder Wave. Remember, it creates a cube in front of you. So you could Thunder Wave.
Yeah. Okay.
You want to do Thunder Wave?
I do.
All right. Now, is that a cantrip?
No, it's a first level spell.
But you've already cast the bonus action. Okay, yeah, I think you can continue using the bonus action spell. You just can't cast a new one. So yeah, go ahead.
Right. I cast it as a bonus action, and it can attack on the first round that I summon it.
Right.
And then it attacks and moves as my bonus action on turns, but I still have my action.
Right.
Okay, so I will start with my bonus action though.
Great.
So I'm going to attack the one that is prone.
Okay.
And
It has not been injured yet. It's a different one that's prone now.
22.
That's a hit.
Okay, and that does... That's not very good. 5
5
damage.
points of damage.
And the one that is standing next to Tara is looking pretty bad shape, right?
That's right. It's in really bad shape.
So now I'm going to cast Thunder Wave.
Okay.
They all have to take Constitution saving throws, DC 15.
All right. And that is a cube. How deep?
15.
15 feet.
How deep is your cube?
Fail, fail, fail. There are 6 of them that will affect.
They all take 14 damage.
1 success. Fail, fail. Okay, 2 successes, so 4 of them take 14 damage, so I'm going to go ahead and add that. So that destroys the undead that just stood back up after being savagely mauled by Tara.
Mm-hmm.
And that also injures the one next to it. And 2 more. And then they're all pushed back how far? 10 feet, I think?
Yes, 10 feet away. Are they pushed out of the grease zone then?
Yes, they are pushed out of the grease zone, although the grease is still there. But yes, they're pushed out of the grease zone. That also pushes the dead red-eyed zombie. That pushes it back as well. Mm-hmm. And so that little pile of meat is pushed back and splattered all over the place. So you just made a big mess, and lots of them just went flying back down the stairwell.
Good thing Jeb's not here.
Oh.
You freak out.
Yeah.
We'll tell him about it.
Maybe don't. Might trigger him.
That's a cool spell.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's very useful.
So I wonder if we've disabled it, and this is out of character. I wonder if we've disabled it, the red meat blob, or if we kill these things, if it could still activate.
TBD. You gotta kill one and find out.
Okay, so a bunch of them are pushed down the stairs. The pile of meat that was the dead zombie, it stops moving. It would be the zombie's turn, but one of them just continues fleeing down the stairwell. The other one, it just stops moving. And Ethelflad, it is your turn. What do you want to do? Here's the situation. The closest of these gray, long-tongued, long-fingered undead is 15 feet away now. Mm-hmm. The ones that did not get knocked down or take any damage, they are going to, on their turn, push forward and renew the attack. But they are currently within range, although you won't get sneak attack on them.
Yeah. Okay, I'll just try to hit him with a crossbow.
Okay.
22.
That is definitely a hit.
12 points of damage.
Wow, that's still pretty good for not being a sneak attack. That's great. Okay, so another crossbow bolt goes sailing past the rest of the group and thuds into this gray-skinned humanoid undead. Epolima's going to... she's not going to charge into the grease, and she's not in the front line anymore. So I guess she'll throw a couple javelins? She'll throw a couple javelins at the same one that Ethelflad just hit. And she will hit once. That's pretty good. Okay. And that is Epolima's turn. Zartok, what do you want to do? Again, do you want me to describe the situation again?
No,
Okay.
Zartok's trying to conserve spells too, because don't know what's going to happen on the illusion floor. So he'll just shoot the same one that seems all the other ranged characters are attacking.
Okay.
Even though he's not so good at this, and he misses very badly.
Oh dear.
It's embarrassing.
Tara, what do you want to do? There's this greased area in front of you, and then beyond that greased area are a bunch of undead that are going to charge forward.
I would like to hold my position and ready an attack for when they charge into my range.
Okay, so you ready your actions for when they move up within range,
yes.
Which they will do on their turn.
Home run stance.
Yeah. They charge forward, so Tara, go ahead and trigger your attacks.
Okay.
You no longer have advantage.
All right, one is a natural 20 and the other's a 19.
Okay, 2 hits.
Yep.
Oh my god.
So I'll do the 20 first.
Okay.
7, another 7, so that's 14 plus 4, 18 damage.
Okay. That one is down.
Okay.
That was the one that Epolima and Ethelflad put some ranged weapons into. You slash at that one and it just falls to the ground.
Okay, and then I'll take my other sword swing and hit the other one.
Okay.
And that one's just 8 damage.
8 damage. You have 2 more attacks.
Yes, I do. All right, and this one is... They're actually both a 19 to hit.
Jeez. Okay, 2 hits.
That's...
Get out of here.
11
11 damage. And then 10 damage.
All right, so this one just charges. 2 of them charge up, and they impale themselves on Tara's weaponry.
Tara definitely thinks her circlet is helping.
Nice work, Mike.
They were terrified.
Oh.
Yes. And terrorized.
Yep. So they don't get to do anything, those two. However, some more do push forward, and they get to attack. So 2 more of them push forward. One of them attacks Paxton. We all know there's no point to it, but they don't know that. 23 does not hit.
Wow.
And the other one attacks Tara. Oh, 24 hits Tara, doesn't it?
It does.
Make a Constitution saving throw.
Okay. That is a 19.
You save.
Yeah.
So you start to freeze up for a moment, but you shake it off. And
Do I know what they tried to do?
it tried to paralyze you.
Ah, okay.
You still take damage, though. You take 13 points of damage.
Brutal.
All right, and that means there's only the 2 of them at the front can attack, but the rest of them line up behind. And that is Paxton's turn. Paxton, what do you want to do?
So, since so many have died and the situation has changed, like how many are around me as available targets?
Yeah, so there are 2 of them that have fled down the stairwell. One of these weird zombies and one of these gray-skinned creatures have fled down the stairwell. There are 3 of these gray-skinned creatures still here fighting. The ones at the front are injured, the one at the back is not.
Okay, but they are in front of me in a roughly 15-foot cube shape.
You could do it again. Yes, that's right.
Yeah, I mean, it worked so well last time.
Yeah, for sure.
So, yes, I'm going to do it, and it is, once again, a 15 Constitution saving throw.
We have 2 failures and a success. What's the damage?
11.
The 2 at the front are blasted by this thunder wave, and they fly back down the stairs again. And then the one that was behind them is barely affected, and it's going to step up on its turn and resume the attack. You didn't kill any of them, but you've done a lot of damage. Athelflaed, the current situation is there's one of these gray-skinned creatures currently at the front. It looks like it's probably going to go after Tara. And then there are 2 more that have been blasted back down the stairwell, and they're collecting themselves, and they're going to climb back up in a moment. What do you want to do?
I'll go ahead and attack the one that's going after Tara.
Okay. Make an attack roll. This is a sneak attack.
9 total.
9 is a miss. Epilema can't really do anything. She is out of ranged weapons, and she is she's not in melee range, so she just says, go get him. You're doing great, guys.
Yeah, you're just doing that motivational circlet there.
She's the T-Hero.
Yeah.
And Zartok, what do you want to do?
Zartok drops a crossbow and tort just in Epilema's general direction. Is like, you use this.
Can I hand it to Epilema?
He casts Frostbite at one of the ones that are standing in the front line, and
Okay.
that's a DC 14 con save. If it makes it, then nothing happens.
Nothing happens.
Okay.
Tara, it is your turn. There's one of these things standing in front of you with its gross tongue flapping around at you.
I will attack it.
You're still hasted for 2 more rounds.
Ridiculous.
This round and 1 more.
Okay, bad news. I got a 14 plus 7 to hit.
A hit, yep.
So that's 21. The other hit,
Is a 1.
yep, is
Okay.
a 1.
Roll percentile.
Okay, but which one do I do first?
I don't know. That's why you should roll in order. Let's see. Let's just flip a coin.
I'm trying to be efficient, man.
Flip a
Flipping
coin.
a coin's a good idea.
You can use your first attack. Your first attack counts. The second one is a fumble. So
Okay, sweet. That's 10 damage.
10 damage. All right.
That's a bad thing about attacking a lot.
Yeah. And
Well,
your fumble,
Is a 66.
you, in swinging at this creature, you, actually, you're going to be able to do all your attacks. But in swinging at this creature, you bump into Paxton and jostle him. And he gets in your way somehow. And you impose disadvantage on his next attack.
God, can you get out of my way? I'm busy.
Yeah, watch where you go in Paxton.
Sorry, boss.
Oh, also your armor class is +2, Tara, for haste. Sorry, I should have reminded you when you got hit.
Oh.
But
It still would have hit because I'm a 21.
I'm a jerk.
All right. We'll make your other 2 attacks.
Okay, well, this is 18, and
Hit.
this one is a 13.
Hit.
Okay. So
Barely.
8 damage,
Mm-hmm.
6 damage.
All right. It is still up, clawing at you and flapping its tongue at you. And that is their turn. So this weird creature, it's going to make an attack on you. and it misses you badly. But the other two come up, the badly injured ones, and it moves up toward you, and it's also going to attack you. And it also misses badly. It's flapping its long tongue at you, trying to bite at you, and you just bash it out of the way with your shield. So they are ineffective, and they end their round in the grease. How long does grease last?
It lasts a minute. Sorry, I wasn't tracking it. Grease is my second one, so it'll last 2 more rounds since the haste is one.
So one of them slips and falls.
I'll have to keep that in mind. I thought that there's grease forever.
Nope.
It's a minute.
All right, so that's their turn. Paxton, what do you want to do? There's one that's prone in front of you. There's one in the back, and there's another one that's attacking Tara that is not prone.
Okay, I think I'm going to have disadvantage on my attack, but that wouldn't affect my spiritual weapon, right? Since that didn't get bumped.
It affects all of your attacks. However, the greased creature on the ground, you would have advantage on attacks against it. So that would cancel out the disadvantage. So if you want to attack the one that's prone, then you won't suffer disadvantage.
Do I have disadvantage on all my attacks or just the first one?
Your next attack.
Okay. Well, I am going to attack the one that is prone with my spiritual weapon.
Okay.
So I guess that's just regular.
Yep, regular attack.
Yeah, okay. Ooh, that's a 26.
That's a hit.
Wait, 25, but still a hit.
Still a hit.
6 damage.
All right, 6 damage. It flails around as you skewer it with your lance of light, but it's not down yet.
Not yet.
And what else do you want to do?
All right. I am going to attack it with I'm going to try to do a coup de grace with my holy short sword of radiance.
Okay.
I was thinking, man, holy shorts.
Yeah, holy shorts of radiance.
Holy shorts.
And that is a 22.
That's a hit.
6 plus 4. You need it because that's a 5.
All right, that is enough to finish this creature off. You jab into it with your short sword and pin it to the ground, and it stops moving. After you, one of those red-eyed zombies continues fleeing down the stairs, and that brings us back to Athelflaed. Athelflaed, there are 2 of these creatures left. One is attacking Tara, and one is sort of behind it, just a bit down the stairs, just right behind the one that's attacking Tara.
Okay, I'll just go for the one attacking Tara for now.
Sure.
16.
Hit.
And do I get sneak attack on this one?
You do.
All right. 17 total.
Oof, it's down. So Athelflaed fires another crossbow bolt straight through its skull, and it collapses to the ground, leaking some kind of fluid everywhere.
Ew.
Very gross. Don't tell Jeb. And Epilema, I guess she can't really do it. Oh, she's got the crossbow from Zartok. She'll take a shot. Oh, she hits. She hits the remaining zombie. What's the damage on that crossbow? Is it D8?
It's a D8.
Not zombie. Whatever this thing is. Oh, okay. Yeah,
Pretty cool.
She finishes it off.
I'd love to hand her a zombie to use.
She finishes it off. This last crossbow bolt goes sailing, pins this one right next to the one Athelflaed kills, and it goes limp. And that's it. There are 2 more that fled down the stairs, but that's as much as you know. That's as far as you know, they are gone.
Yay.
Nice work, team.
The stairwell is filled with
Grease and filth.
Yeah, really.
and filth and corpses, bits of corpses, meat splattered around. It's disgusting.
Tony.
Get Tony to come down here.
It's a gross mess.
Let's set up the glass pane immediately down the steps.
All right, so you're going to head down the steps?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, to make sure the zombies don't come up. And also,
Can I wait for the grease to go away?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
You can just cancel it.
Not immediately. Wait for grease to
You
go.
can cancel it whenever you want.
Okay, dispel grease.
Degrease.
Yeah.
Degrease.
So you head down the stairs, you wait for the grease spell to pass, and you pick your way carefully past all the mess all over the walls and floor, and you head down to the next floor, which is illusion. And as you head down the stairs, your footsteps take on a different tone. They echo more than they did before. You feel like there's a larger space coming up ahead. You reach the bottom of the stairs, and the exit from the stairwell no longer has a nice, clean arch shape. In fact, it looks jagged. It looks as though someone has been beating on it or something has damaged it. And as you look out, you can see that where there would be doors, there is an opening, And there is a flickering set of doors here. It looks almost like a light bulb that is not fully connected. There are some doors here, but they're flickering in place. They look like wood, but they disappear, revealing a passageway behind them, and then they'll reappear again. And the walls in this area appear crude. They appear scarred by flame. And there are little arrows, little black shafted and black feathered arrows all over the ground here.
Oh, I think we found a kobold's mates.